Hello, this is Robert Bake, World of Inspiration. I'm so excited to speak to you this afternoon. As you watch, I encourage you to share this post. Kindly share on your wall so that your friends can also watch. We are going to be sharing a lot about business, especially at the starting stage. And normally, when the journey, the beginning of a journey is always the hardest part, more than when you have already started. It is said that the first 1 million, you make it alone. After the first 1 million, other people can join you because they have already seen that you're capable. So the starting of business is always the most challenging part. In fact, starting can take up to 10 years. Look for any successful person who is in business, they will tell you that to establish themselves in business, it took about 10 years. Because in those first 10 years, there is a lot, there are so many challenges: raising capital, there's building a team, there is coming up with a product or service that meets the needs of your customers and so on. So it is always very challenging. There's also adjusting the habits. For example, trying to separate personal money with business money. All that happens at the beginning and it requires a lot of attention. So today, I'm going to speak about two things, capital and also doing market research. Many people just start a business simply because someone else is doing that business. In fact, people come and ask me, which business is making money? And they think that when I tell them this business is making money, they will go and make it automatically. It doesn't happen that way. At one time, we were operating in a certain building called Plaza here on Rome Street, and there was a lady with a saloon. This saloon had so many customers to the extent that even at 9 p.m., when they are closing the building, you will find that people are still coming in. People would be patient, they would sit down and wait. And then people would come, and when they see these customers, they think, oh, it means that in this building there are many customers. Let me also start a saloon. They would open a saloon and nobody comes because they had not done their market research. When you see that people are making money by going to China and importing goods, do not just go without market research. In fact, I have a friend, she allowed me to share her story. I will not mention the name though. At one time, she lost 500 million shillings because of going into a business without market research. She asked her friends how they were making money and found that they were doing a lot of, they were importing spare parts and they were making good money in Chiseka. So she went to China, 500 million shillings, she bought spare parts, but she bought grade 1. You know, in China they grade products. You can have grade 1 up to, let's say, grade 5. And many business people in Uganda, they bring about grade 4 and 5, although they reach here and sell them as though they are grade 1. So when this lady arrived, she found that the price at which she had bought, it was so high. It was almost double the other products that were on the market, and buyers were not willing to pay that money because many of them did not even know how grade 1 products look like. So in the end, she ended up selling them as though they were the other fake ones of grade 4 and grade 5. So she lost a lot of money that way. I always share about another friend of mine. I've written about him in one of my books. He also allowed me to share his story. He went into Irish potatoes and he had not done research. He did not know anything about Irish potatoes apart from knowing that there is money in Irish potatoes. Whenever he went to the village and found people were making money, he would see someone who didn't go to school, has built houses, is renting, has a farm, has cows, has solar. And he would ask, where are these people getting money? They would tell him they are making money from Irish potatoes. This guy decides to borrow money, 3 million shillings, and he tells the money lender, you know what? In 1 week, I'll bring you 3.5 million shillings. Now, that was another mistake. We do not borrow to start a business. You borrow to grow a business. Even when you go to a bank cannot give you money to start a business. They will give you money to grow a business. They will first study the business to see how much money does it bring per month. Are you able to grow it? Is money the limitation? Sometimes you may fail to grow when money is not the limitation, when perhaps the limitation is marketing. That even if you put in more money without marketing more, it would not make, and it will not result into growth. So this friend borrows money, goes on a road with friends to Kisoro, where I come from. They buy Irish potatoes, they come. Now, when you have not done market research, you do not know the details of how things are done. So one, he did not know that the people who sell Irish potatoes are not that kind to put for you only good ones. So they would put even stones, even those that are half a quarter and so on. And for me, having grown up in an environment of Irish potatoes, I know very well that when an Irish potato is cut, when it is wounded, and there is heat, within one night it can rot, and it can even cause about 5 others surrounding it to also rot. So he did not know that. But the people in the game who knew the rules, they would come, no matter how tired they were, they would spread them on the ground, remove the bad ones, let fresh air, just let them out in fresh air, and then they get fresh. So he did not know that. He just came. The first shock was that when they arrived at around 3 a.m., he realized that he had not thought about where to store them. That was the first shock. So he convinced his girlfriend to stay with a neighbor and then allow him to keep there the Irish potatoes. He just piled them there in sacks. He started marketing. He would go to a restaurant. He says, I have Irish potatoes, please bring a sample. When he brings, they say, these are not good for chips. These are for boiling. These are for cooking. He did not know the difference. So he realized that actually, before going to buy Irish potatoes, he should have actually looked for a market. He should have gone to buyers and found out what they want, which types sell where. So for a week, he had not sold. The other friends of his they were telling him, please, you come and we go back for more. He had not sold. When he went to the room, there was a terrible stench. He found they were already rotting because he had not opened them up. So in short, he lost. And the few good ones that were left there, he tried to sell them. People couldn't buy them. He gave them out on credit. Collecting the money was a problem. So in the end, he lost all the money. And we say that the business of dealing in Irish potatoes is bad? No. It was the problem was that this entrepreneur went in without knowledge, without skills, without talents, without experience, without market research. So the first thing you need to do is market research. In our training in business planning, we always give tips, practical guidelines on how to conduct market research. For example, if I want to start, let's say a restaurant in a certain area, I can go to 10 restaurants in that area. I see how long it takes the waiters to reach me or the waitresses. If it takes them 5 minutes, then it means if I am to beat them, I need to make sure that mine take less than 10 minutes. I have to look at the menu. I see what is it that is unique. When you're marketing a restaurant, you do not have to say we prepare nice food. Who doesn't prepare food? Nice food can be found anywhere. You have to look for unique ideas, what nobody else is doing. So perhaps if I was to start a restaurant, I would look for delicious foods that people like, but which may not be found in every restaurant. You say, for example, here we have meals of just fruits. You have 20 kinds of fruits, and you have lunch of fruits only. Places where you can say, for us, you buy food and we give you free juice. Of course, you have included the juice in the price, but the customer feels good to know that they are paying only for food and the juice is coming free. So when I sit in a restaurant, I'm doing my market research. I will see how much food are people eating. If half of the people are leaving food on the plate, it shows me that this restaurant is serving much food, so I should reduce on mine. If someone is selling at 10,000 and people are leaving food, I can sell at 7,000 and I reduce on the quantity of food and beat them that way. So market research is so important. We may not exhaust it now because there are so many things. You need to know your competitors. Who are they? What are they doing well? What are they not doing well? What are the gaps? What is it that customers complain about? So that you avoid customers also complaining about it in your own business. What are the challenges that are involved? How are others solving them? And don't go into a business without knowing how much money it is going to cost you. Don't put in money until you have done all the financial calculations. Again, a friend of mine got inspired and she wanted to start a restaurant. She had 20 million as her capital, which was enough really to start a moderate restaurant. But one time she went to Zambia and saw the nice chairs, and they told her they were at 14 million. She said, wow, these are the kind of chairs that I need in my restaurant. Out of 20, she removes 14 million shillings and pays for the chairs. She remains with the 6 million. Then when she goes to look for the premises, they tell her, you know, here you can give us 5 million and pay for a year. So she realized that actually she had spent so much of her capital, a big percentage, on what was not the most important. In a restaurant, the premises were more important than the chairs. She could have started with simple chairs and later upgraded. So market research is so important. And for those of you who come for mentorship at World of Inspiration, which we offer freely for all our customers, as long as you have a customer number, as long as you have ever bought anything here, we give you free mentorship. We'll share more on how to do market research that is relevant for your specific business. If you're going into international trade, you need to know what happens at the customs. You need to know where you go when you reach, let's say, China. Which places do people speak English? In China, it can be a problem even speaking your language. Yeah. So for those who come here for mentorship and those who buy books here at World of Inspiration, we give you enough information about market research. As I conclude, I want to talk about capital. Many times when people hear the word capital, they think about money. And true, money is a big form of capital. However, it is not the only capital, and to me, it is not the most important form of capital. Because we have seen people having money, monetary capital, they inject a lot of money, even billions, in a business or an investment, and it fails. While another one starts with very little money, and they manage to grow it. So that has led me to conclude that actually there are other forms of capital, and I talk about them in my upcoming book, 4 Ways of Earning. But I can briefly hint on them, and I'm going to mention them in their order of importance according to me. The first form of capital that you need is passion. If you're going into a business, if you're choosing a business, and you have a business where you have passion, you love it. Passion is special love for something. Then you have another business where you do not have passion. Choose the one where you have passion. To me, that is so important, because there is a time where passion alone will carry you. There is a point where nothing else may seem to be working, but because of your passion, you stay in. And for every entrepreneur, they know that that stage comes where you're having so many challenges that only your passion will drive you, where profit will not drive you because it will not be there at that time, where you will not say it's your team, your team giving you energy. At that time, the team might not even be there, or it might be discouraged, and they might be telling you that your idea will not work. But when you have passion, my friend, you will make it. World of Inspiration has reached this point because of passion. If there wasn't passion, it wouldn't have crossed the second year. So the first and most important form of capital is passion. The second form of capital is talent. Talent is a natural ability, what you're born knowing how to do so well. For example, myself, I have not really put a lot of effort into learning how to write or to tell stories. I just found that naturally I could tell stories, I could capture ideas. That is why even the jobs that I did before joining business were all about writing, documenting, researching. To me, that is something that came naturally. In fact, many people get surprised when I tell them that I never studied literature in school, because right now I train even people that have masters in literature in how to write. Yet I did not study literature in school. It was because of the natural talent. So when you're looking for a business, leverage your natural talent. If you're good in art and design, you can dress so well and people say, ah, you're always smart. You know how to make color combinations. Then you can capitalize on that to have a business in the area of fashion. For example, you can have a boutique, you can have a fashion house and so on. If you're so good in music, you can think of a business, let's say promoting music. You're so good in sports. Don't just stop at watching Man U and Arsenal and so on. Learn how you can turn that into a business, how you can leverage your passion and your talent. Now, like I've mentioned, talent is inborn. You do not learn your talent. However, the abilities that you learn are skills. We refer to them as skills. And that is the third form of capital that you need. Skills. Skills, these are acquired abilities. You acquire them along the way. For example, nobody was born knowing how to drive a car, how to design, let's say, a dress, how to use a sewing machine, how to use a computer, and so on. These are abilities that we learn along the way because of concentration. We put in time and energy. We do a lot of practice and we become good at them. The more we practice, the better we become at our skills. In fact, if you know your talent and then you learn skills that are related to your talent, you become excellent. Like myself, I know that my major talent is in writing, and so the skills I have learned are about research, about documentation, about editing, because they fortify my talent in writing, and that is why I'm able to do so much work that is related to my business. If I was employing someone to do what I do at World of Inspiration, I would not manage to pay that person at this time. But I am now leveraging on my talent and my skill. Another important form of capital are networks. The people that you know. In fact, I always challenge myself. I look at my phone book and I say, what is the net worth of all the people in this phone? If I find that the net worth is so low, then it shows me the kind of network I'm on. Imagine if you're a campuser or you've just finished campus and you're starting a business of selling cars. Well, you may sell, you could be good at sell, but there are high chances that many of the people in your network will not afford cars. But if you sell sneakers and jeans and so on and capes, then that is, you're in the right network. So the network that you have, many people think about the business ideas without considering the networks. You find you have people around you. In church, you have a fellowship. You meet 500 people every week, but when you're going to start a business, you think of now a totally different business with products and services that you cannot market to people around you. It's important that we start with friends and family. It's called FF, friends and family. You can start with the products that you can sell even within your family. And by the way, this reminds me that we have a motto for the people that we are mentoring, the people that are customers of World of Inspiration. As long as you have a membership, a customer number, and a membership card, and these are free by the way, as long as you're a customer of World of Inspiration, you get a membership card and also a customer number. As long as you have it, we have a business model that we are having here, which we are going to be using to train people in business. If you're able to sell books, you can now sell them using the business model of World of Inspiration, but you create your own business. For example, you may be having capital. People always ask me, I have capital of 200,000. What can I invest it in? Now, 200,000 may not be enough to rent premises and hire staff and so on, but you can come with 200,000 and buy books here at, let's say, 30,000, and you sell these books at 50,000, and you make a very good profit. And some of the books we can even give you at half price so that you double your capital. So here, what we'll be teaching you, one, is to know the products, because by the time you sell your book, you sell a book, you have also read it, you have benefited from that book. But two, we are teaching you how to sell, because there is no success that can come in business without selling. We are also teaching you the principles of growing money, that money is accumulated little by little. Thank you so much for tuning in. I encourage you to share it on your wall so that many more people can watch it. Even those that come later, they are able to watch it. And every day, I'm going to be sparing a minute or two and share with you something. Please comment, alert me. What would you wish me to share about? What questions do you have for me? What would you wish to know about World of Inspiration, about me as a person, about talent development, about business, about investment, about money? What would you wish to know about publishing? Because World of Inspiration is known all over Africa for publishing inspirational materials. So it is also my pleasure to share with you about writing, about publishing, about editing, and so on. Thank you. God bless you.